Yes, g'day, FootyCast live from BackChat Studios. The last time in our location in Northbridge, we've had the local community sleeping overnight. Most nights on the balcony where we are in Northbridge. I'd like to think we've played a part in keeping a shelter over some people's heads, because pretty much every morning I walk in, there's someone camped out the front skeet. But we are filming the last ever show here at our location. We're moving to our new studios in West Leederville, so we'll do some reveals of that on social media. Sked, I'm sure you'll be across that, mate. Hello, welcome.
Thank you. There's no balloons. There's no sort of celebratory feeling in the room. It's just an empty shell of a joint with the two of us and Tony sitting behind the desk. But yeah, I feel like I'm in constant movement at the moment, just moving house, moving studios. Just some stability in my life would be nice.
You've always got the bourbons, mate.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. What? No, I'd laugh at you. Talk about the bourbons. I'd probably have on a weekend a few, and then it gets blown to smithereens.
Okay, let me tell our audience, I love having a drink. I love nothing more than sitting down with my mates and getting pissed. I love drinking. Is that good? Because I do. I love drinking beer. I love having I love having a whiskey. I'll even have a bourbon with you. I love, and I have so much fun getting pissed with me mates. Like, I genuinely have fun doing it. Is that good?
No, I think it's true.
I'm not making it up. Like, no. So it's like you're adverse to saying you like to
drink. No, not at all.
I love having a drink. It's fucking great. And I'm off the beers at the moment.
Yeah, no, you can tell.
I'm 4 weeks in now. Why?
You look fresh. Your eyes look.
Is that a clip?
No, you look sharper. And do you feel sharper?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and I'll be back on it soon. I've got a date. I've set, and I'll be back on it. And it'll be great.
As my family says, you put 50 days down as you're not drinking, and then on day 51 you go out and do whatever.
Yeah, correct. There's 50 days off, and then there's another 300 days to go. Brilliant, Skater. Great to have you, mate, in our last, and actually our last ever recording in this location will be Mark Redding's on BackChat. You're joining us after this for BackChat guest.
Yeah, deep in meaning. So you'll be Michael Parkinson. Just giving the late. You probably don't know who he is, but he was a very famous interviewer.
Was he good?
He's bloody good.
Okay, good. Well, thanks for the compliment, Skater. Mate, we've got to the pre-finals buy round. So today, of course, our sponsors, Aspect Accountants, bringing us some numbers across the season. We'll review the bottom 10 teams.
Won't take long.
You're going to whip through some of them?
Well, because, let's be honest, some of them, you can't give too many pass marks for the bottom, 3 or 4 or 5 clubs. There's some scathing criticism, I'm sure, which will come their way.
Yes, and Homewise Solar for the guarantee of the week. I got a good one this week, Skeeter, so stay tuned for that. Let's get into the big moments of the round, Skeet. I'll start on West Coast and Harley Reid signing a 2-year extension. It's a 3-year deal, effectively, taking him to the end of 2028. West Coast fans are excited. How do you feel about the deal?
It had to be done. And people say he's not worth the money. He hasn't produced on fielders yet, but put the economics into play and then just forget about the rest of it. They have to use around 95% of their salary cap on most given years. The salary cap's around $18 million next year. And this is being harsh but true. The Eagles don't have enough quality on their list to be paying huge dollars to a lot of players at the moment. Now, that may well change. But at the moment, Harley Reid is one of the few players that either now or in the next 2 or 3 years you think would be worthy of getting paid significant sums of money. So I think it's good. It's also, you're hearing Eagles supporters saying, we need it. Mate of mine, David Quadras ranked yesterday, goes, this is one shining light on what's been a disastrous year. And so on that basis, he is bleeding over what's happening on field. This is one little slither to give the fans, and the quote by Harley, whether it was manufactured by the club or his manager, to say, look, the support I've received, etc., etc. It just made the Eagles feel a bit more loved by one of the young players that hopefully could be not just a short term, but maybe a mid like Chris Judd. If you got Chris Judd terms out of him 7 or 8 years, you'd be wrapped.
I think it's great for West Coast. I think it's great for Harley. I think it's a good deal across the board. You've paid a lot of money, but he's your best player, so of course you paid a lot of money. So I know you're talking broadly. I don't agree that he hasn't delivered on field. He would have won the Rising Star in his first year. He's reported. He would have won it. Right? He was the best first year player last year. This year, people have been upset around his discipline. He's, I think, the most free kicks in the league this year, or close to it, against him. But he's 19, turning 20. And this deal, people are saying, why wasn't longer? Or he's a second-year player, and he's extended for 3 years effectively. I think this is what people do. When you're a second-year player, people like to treat Harley differently because he's had the hype and he's had the intrigue that others haven't. But in the end, it's a second-year player signing a 3-year deal for a bit more money than most. But I think there's triggers to make that happen. So he'll have to play well and he'll have to play games. And I think it's a pretty stock standard deal, other than probably a bit more money. And I think it's a deal that needed to be made. It's not in the same realm as Nazir Wanganeen-Miller, but if Harley Reid sort of came into the club and said, I want to leave after a one-win season, and you're losing your pick 1 draft pick, I mean, that's not a good place to be. Their midfield next year, if they go and pick 2 midfielders with pick 1 and 2, I don't know who they are. I don't know anything about the kids. I think it's Dersma and maybe one other. If you look back at pick 1 and pick 2 over the last 20 years, one of them hits and they're very good. And more than likely both are very good. So you suddenly got 3 very, very good young midfielders.
But you have to get that selection right and correct. If you can get another couple of really good midfielders in there and adding the likes of whether it's a Starcevic and Archie or whatever, that becomes, I mean, it's not going to be a magic fix, but it can turn quickly if you get it right, relatively quickly.
Freo are confirmed Saturday night here against the Suns.
Saturday week, yep.
Sorry, yes. That might be in 3 days. We might have been confused. I was listening to you on radio and I was thinking last night, Wednesday night, wow.
Yeah.
So Saturday week, was that a fun game to call, by the way? Was that enjoyable?
Not really.
You actually did a very good job of pretending like you
had
fun.
Well, just sort of, the result was never in doubt from about the 5-minute mark.
So having watched them, Freo locked in Saturday night week against the Suns, a better option than the Hawks. Were they impressive last night, the Suns? I saw none of it, and we'll break the game down, but more for a Freo matchup. Do you like that matchup?
Docker supporter, you'd much rather play the Suns because it feels like they've, last night in the rooms, we've got to the finals, that we've achieved what we needed to do, we've broken through, we've created history. So for me, absolutely much rather face, if you're Fremantle, I'm going, let's bring over Gold Coast, obviously a lack of finals experience amongst most of the group, and then you got Hawthorn. No, I'm taking the Suns.
Yeah, I did watch. I got home just as the game ended. I watched the scene in the room, and it's a hard one, of course. You can't say, boys, no celebration, we're just getting on to the next game.
Yep.
But I reckon Hardwick knew he liked it but didn't love it, because what happens is, the big release, like, we did it. We made finals. And it's like making a grand final for the first time. We did it. And then you realise when you lose, it's like, you're not in footy to make finals. You're there to win it. And losing finals is worse than making it sometimes.
I don't think in this case it'll be the case. Whatever happens on Saturday week, I think they'll learn from it. But I just had the feeling that was mission accomplished for them.
Mitch Brown comes out as the first openly bisexual man in the AFL. This was reported and hit the news yesterday. Of course, I was drafted with Mitch in 2006. The end of 2006, played however many years he was on the list with me. We played in similar positions. We basically grew up together.
Yep.
Do you want to ask me any questions on this one? Rather than me just talk about it?
No, well, obviously it came out on a podcast, which I heard the audio this morning on that.
Well, yeah.
So that was the origins of it. So I didn't just, go on Instagram and say, or whatever it is, this is me. Look, there's two elements of it. I'm on the outside of that world. So I will say this. If that is speaking his truth and getting out there and helping maybe, if not someone in the football community, maybe a young bloke or young female who is struggling with their sexuality, if that can help along the way, absolutely. I've got nothing but, admiration, because you're going to cop a lot of, he'll cop heat on social media, and, his name will be bandied around. Who cares about your sexuality? Which I don't, and you don't, and you're his mate. So on that basis, look, I've had dealings with him when he was a player, and I couldn't care really what his sexuality is. He was a nice fella. And again, you know more than I. And I guess the question I would ask you as a journalist is, did you ever sense that was part of his life? Did you ever feel that he was uncomfortable at the club? Because he mentioned a line at the Eagles, I think, about I think they're getting a massage and talking about having to shower alongside a gay man. And he said, I'd rather be, a fellow teammate said, I'd rather be in a cage full of lions than having to shower next to a gay bloke. So I'm guessing you never experienced his uneasiness or any question marks about how he's feeling?
Well, no, but it's not really something that
No.
I'm probably the same as you, mate. Like, just to answer your question, like, Mitch is one of my mates, and I got to be honest, like, waking up yesterday, nothing really changed for me, other than if he feels happier as a person.
Were you slightly surprised?
Great for him. Honestly, mate, I'll just tell you exactly what I thought. I couldn't care less for Mitch. Now, I do understand that there's a community, and he'll be helping people that isn't me. But for Mitch, like, I've known Mitch for 20 years, so if the only thing I care about is, like, if he's happy, like, with your friends and people that you know, if they're not happy, well, that's when you give a shit about whatever, whether it be sexuality or mental health or financial issues, and all of those realm of things I've dealt with a lot of my mates. So I don't really differentiate between any of that. It's like respect for people around race, sex, religion, whatever it is. I don't care if you're a Catholic. I don't care if you're what ethnicity you are. You're either a good bloke or you're not, and Mitch is a good bloke, and nothing's really changed in that regard for me. So I can only speak to myself. I don't need. I'm not really a part of anything outside of me, and I treat everyone the same.
No.
So if you came out and said something around any of that sort of stuff, I'd just be like, well, I know Skater. I've known him for a long time. He's a good bloke. And if he's happier now, good for him.
Yeah. The only thing I would say for Mitch, and I'm sure he's aware of this, is like Ian Roberts in rugby league came out decades ago and confirmed his sexuality, being a gay man, I think was the terminology. And he was used as a bit of a, dare I say it, the poster boy for homosexuality in rugby league. Now, whether Mitch is prepared to be the person that has to, like, he'll be asked, anytime there's a question on this front now, he'll be asked for interviews, etc. So hopefully he's feeling empowered to speak his truth, and that's not the only thing that we label Mitch Brown as. Do you know what I'm saying? Is that's not moving forward. Yep, he's come out, but I just hope that there isn't just now, every time there's a story, we'll go to Mitch Brown because he'll be able to give us a comment. He's not the spokesman or spokesperson for this issue, I would have thought. But, good on him. Well played to him. It's an issue which we've discussed. And I guess the timing of it, a week after the Isaac Rankin case, has given it more media gravity and where that sits.
I'd have to speak to Mitch one-on-one. But I'd be surprised if he felt within the football club
Marginalised?
that there was, I would be surprised at that. I think within a footy club, and this would go around the country and things like this, there's gay blokes playing in any team. I'm guarantee there is. I would be surprised if it was an environment that he felt uncomfortable daily. Now, would there be moments in which, if people don't know that's your sexuality, that people would say stuff out of turn? Probably, but it's probably the same for lots of different things. I would be surprised overall if he looked back at his time at West Coast and thought, gee, that was awkward, because no one knew what I was, because, your teammates, you're a teammate. And, it's the same for me with Indigenous guys, and it's completely, alternate issues. But, racist comments and racist people and the way we treat Indigenous people and people from other ethnicities is a massive issue in community. But again, I think in a football club, I think it's a relatively protected environment in which, like, you all got one goal and you're trying to win a premiership, and no one really gives a shit if you're gay, bisexual, or straight, black, white, or purple. Like, I'm being serious about that. I would really surprised, at least in clubs I've been involved in, if people felt marginalised and people felt like the football club created an environment that didn't make it a comfortable one. Now, people can speak for their own, and clearly I'm not a marginalised person. I'm a white Caucasian, private school, every opportunity, straight man, right? So I'll probably tick in every box that's just a normal, just a bland, beige sort of person. But I know the respect I give other people, and I'd just be surprised if it was something that came out that it was, inside those walls it was different. That's just my opinion, and maybe it doesn't matter. Hey, Tom de Koning has told Carlton he's going to join St Kilda in, perhaps next to Oscar Allen, the worst-kept secret in football. Carlton have got some departures right now. Skater Jack Silvani has told Carlton he's leaving at the end of the year as a restricted free agent. Western Bulldogs, Collingwood, St Kilda, Essendon are all involved and interested in his services. Tom de Koning has, I guess, picked St Kilda as a restricted free agent. They've got some movement at the moment, Carlton.
They've got some movement, and it just begs the question of whether that's the last big name that's going to depart the Blues between now and when Graham Wright and his Michael Voss, etc., come together. Yeah, they've got some movement. St Kilda's got some movement. St Kilda's been quite aggressive as well through this process as well, which is, they've been almost like the outsiders in terms of attracting big names, but this is keeping Naz, getting de Koning, a couple others on their radar, including Liam Ryan. Yeah, some Carlton, St Kilda. We know Geelong's in the mix. Hawthorn's always active. Yeah, I just wonder if it's easier for those types of clubs in one city to be able to be more aggressive than our WA clubs. Just feels that way.
Yep. My Homewise guarantee of the week, Homewise Solar. If you need solar energy, whether it be solar panels on the roof, battery on the ground to help save that power, get in touch with Homewise Solar, homewisesolar.com.au. Steve and the team will look after you. He's got Skeeter on his books at the moment. Skeeter's dragging his feet, but he will be installing...
Got to move to the house first.
Installing a system. My Homewise Solar guarantee of the week is Charlie Curnow is not at Carlton next year. Now, I know
You're doubling down.
Well, I know I've gone with Gold Coast, and maybe the Burleigh Pavilion's got some bookings, and maybe you won't be on the Gold Coast Suns.
Won't be there with Bailey.
I guarantee you who's there right now is the Essendon Football Club. Yeah. But I reckon they trade. I've just seen enough now. I've seen chats. I saw him door-stopped. The messaging, there's a little bit of smoke there, Skeeter, and I reckon he's the guy they're looking to move.
Sydney Swans got Charlie Curnow written all over them if they can do the deal.
Sydney need a key forward, a proper key forward. Marty and Logan McDonald will grow into something. You've got guys going through there. Jack Buller played there against West Coast. They need a proper key forward, and that's what Charlie Curnow is, and they're in the market, guaranteed for him.
And the one player or one of the players that I'd be looking at if I was Carlton on that basis, and you interviewed him after the game on the weekend. I interviewed him on the weekend after the game. You do remember. Errol Goulden. That is one bloke that they would absolutely ask the question about.
Sydney, get Errol. Sorry, Carlton, get Errol.
If you're giving up Charlie Curnow, that's what you're asking for. You're not asking for blokes at the back end of it. You're asking for a gun. That's what you're asking for, whether you get him or not. Because they need midfield, pace and class, and he is the best in that department.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone else floating around because I don't know if they want to give up Errol.
Of course they don't want to give up Errol.
Because Carlton can, because they... Harry Mackay, I think what you like about him, he's a good key
Charlie
forward.
Curnow is a Coleman medal winner. I'm just saying...
Jewel? I think he's
Jewel. You're Jewel. Don't discount the fact that they will have a big pitch towards Errol Gould if they have to go down that path. I'm just throwing it out.
I like it. I'm just trying to come up with an alternate because...
But we're not, let's be honest, we're not, what is it called, trade talk? We're not quite in that space, are we?
What are we?
We're just guessing. We're just buffoons guessing. But I would have thought that's a possibility. That Sydney is there as his most likely destination.
Cancel the trade because they just look like a completely other team, Sydney, with Errol. Like he's been...
So what are you asking for if you're Carlton?
Lots. Just not Errol. Anything but Errol. Take my arm. Take my legs. Two first rounders plus a player that's not Errol Goulden. You literally take your pick. Take Heaney. Take Heaney if you want. Errol Goulden is your jewel in your crown, and you can't replace him.
Look, I think he's great. I love him. But if you're Carlton, you can ask the question if it gets to that point.
Just give him all your tips because they've, of course, given West Coast a first rounder this year.
Yeah.
West Coast have their first rounder this year, so I don't know if Carlton have any tips to give away.
That's true.
Picks.
Yeah. Anyway, look, you mentioned Logan McDonald. I'd be asking the question if I was West Coast there as well.
Yeah, so would I. Skeet, I said tips because I was reading the next run sheet. The tipping is finished finally after Wednesday. Did you win? Did you win the
Well, I think the West goes through the finals.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, mate, I'll just keep ticking along. I don't think I finished overly well, but I was 4 in front, so I would have won by 3 lengths instead. I won by probably a length and a half.
Well, is it over or not?
I don't know. It'll be in the. I don't actually monitor it, to be totally honest with you.
So are you even in front?
I'm in front.
So how do you know you're in front if you don't monitor it?
I was 4 in front before the last round.
So how do you know that if you don't monitor it?
No, I don't monitor after each round. I don't monitor what happens after each round.
You did last round.
Well, I had a look in the paper. Oh, 4 up. I went, no.
So you do monitor it?
Yes, William, yes. I probably do monitor it, but not on a daily basis.
Not forensically?
No.
You're not a forensic scientist?
No. But I think ours continues, but okay, how much money do you owe?
Ours is finished. The BackChat and Shelter FootyCast tipping competition. Mr. Farm has won the tipping.
Of course
Mr. Farm, I've got to be honest, mate. I don't have it on my run sheet what you've won, but it's pretty bloody good. I'm pretty sure there's a cash prize, there's a down south giveaway, there's a whole range of things you've won, Mr. Farm. I just forgot to put it in the run sheet. So well done, mate. 161 total tips. Do you know what you're on? I know you're not monitoring it, but
no, I don't. I don't know what I'm on.
Okay, so 161.
Good. Sounds good. 161.
Yeah, it's very good. Where do you think I came? It was $10 for every person that beat me. How many dollars am I?
I know you finished the season pretty well.
Yeah.
But I'm still hoping you owe a couple of thousand.
I will say that I did better when I forgot my tips than when I tipped. That's how I was going. Scully finished in 205th place, Skeeter. $2,040 in the hole. Of course, I don't have to pay myself $10. So we are working on a mechanism to get that $10 out.
To not pay people. It's called Bitcoin, or it's called Scully's vouchers.
No,
food stamps.
It's just difficult because all we have on the tipping thing is people's Mr. Farm. Like, how do I track Mr. Farm?
Yeah, but what you do is we'll give you the address to the studio of the next place. Come to reception, which there'll be no reception, and ask for $10 from Scully. He's just his little bank robber, all these notes lined up in the corner.
Does that excite you? Does that make you happy?
It just makes me laugh. $2,000. I mean, if I tell Alex that, if I said, down at tipping comp that I owe money, what do you mean you owe money? Well, I guaranteed I'll give anyone who finished above me $10. It's stupidity. But it should be a tradition. I think the tradition should continue next year.
You like it, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, did you do the tipping comp? I could have given you $10 right
This
there.
one, no, I didn't.
Maybe you should do that next year.
It's too hard to concentrate on. And you know what? No prize. I'm just there just for the...
Yeah, no, we've heard multiple times, actually. It's about your pride or something.
Pride, yeah, whatever.
All right, there we go. Well done, Skeeter. $2,040 down. So that was a good year for me. Brilliant. Thanks, everybody. Had fun. Shelter Brewing Co. the beer that we can't get enough of. Let's keep moving. Will Schofield, Mark Reddings. Gold Coast, 153 defeat. I saw none of this game. I listened to you, but I was in a haze. I was driving back from Dowran yesterday, Skeeter. Went up or across to the Dowran Field Day.
Okay, clearly a cash job or an invoice of some description if you're going that far.
Yeah, so I had to listen to your dulcet tones on the way home. It was the only station I could get, 6PR. Gold Coast 153 defeated Essendon 58. People First Stadium, Wednesday night, was over before it started, really.
Yeah, let's forget about the result because it was done.
Great,
but what we can nail down is what possibility come Brownlow medal night that either Noah Anderson, who had 34 and kicked 3 goals, or Matt Rowell, 31 and 2 goals. And they both came off the ground with about 7 minutes of the game remaining, which is
game over.
No, I know game over, absolutely. But in terms
Noah,
of
3 votes,
well, you'd think so.
Three goals, 34. Well, who was better by the eye?
Oh, probably Anderson. But I mean, if Rowell picks up 2, whether that change, like they're both a silly chance, aren't they, to win the Brownlow or not?
We've seen this before with 2 players right up there. Like, I reckon Walsh and Cripps 1 year was sort of those sort of types. We've seen Sarong and Brayshaw. If you think about it, now, votes they steal votes off each other, sort of. But if they're winning games, a lot of the time those 2 are 3 and 2. So they're getting sort of 2 or 3 votes, right? So it's not like it's 3 or nothing. It might be a vote here or there that they steal and you're sort of flexing around. I have Matty Rowell to win the Brownlow. I've had it since the get-go, and I'm quite proud of the investment, to be really honest.
You're only proud after the event, I would have thought.
What?
Well, if he doesn't finish top 3, is that got him to win it?
Yeah.
Well, you're only proud if he wins.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, I'm proud that I did a bit of research before the season, and I looked at his previous 3 years and saw his contested numbers and saw his votes, and instead of just throwing my money into the wind like I usually do.
Yeah, well, Nick Dacos would have been. Is he still favourite, Nick, or not?
Or
is it Jordan Dawson? Who is it?
Dawson. Dacos is faded. He was like $1.60 unbackable, and he's out to $2-3 now.
Okay.
But I think he could still be favourite. So that's the game, Skeet. We spoke about what they did.
Max King, by the way. Is it Max or Ben? I always get them mixed up.
Yeah. Hey, Skeet, I've got something to tell you about Shelter Beer Hall. This October, our friends at Shelter are hosting a 2-day festival on the Busselton
Ben
foreshore.
King, by the way, kick 7. Just thought I'd mention
Ben kick 7?
Yeah.
Great.
You may kick 7 on Saturday week.
Beer Hall is the beer festival by the beach, and it's going to be an absolute ripper, Skeeter. The festival is based around the massive Beer Hall marquee, which will be pumping with live music all weekend. There's wine from Alice Merchant, Credaro Wines, and a cocktail pop-up from the crew at Bar Love. Skeeter, that sounds like your operation. Shelter's German chefs, Julian and Tom, are doing an Oktoberfest-inspired menu over the fire pit. There's fresh seafood, pretzels.
These pretzels are making me thirsty. You don't know what that means, do you? Oh, you do it. Hopefully you do.
What is that?
That's from Seinfeld.
Nah. That's good. Yeah. And other amazing food options. Not to mention axe throwing, keg rolling, stein holding.
There's no wife carrying, is there? And that's the wife carrying competition.
Tuber's hot sauce eating comp, and Skeeter will be down there carrying Victoria around. Tickets include a beer and pretzel on arrival.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
And get you off on the right foot. So get your crew together and head to Busso this spring for Beer Hall. Grab your tickets at the Shelter website, shelterbrewing.com.au.
That's brilliant.
What date is it? It doesn't say where the date is.
Tell you what, I do live reads on 6BR that go 45 seconds. That one's right up there in the same bracket. That's a beauty.
Well, it doesn't say what date. Shelter Beer Hall. Make sure you go to shelterbrewing.com.au. Well, it's in October at some point.
Yeah.
It doesn't run for the whole of October. It's a 2-day festival.
There you go.
Need the date. All-Australian squad was named yesterday, Skeeter. I believe, or the day before. Day before? Yeah, day before.
Had Glenn Jakovic in the studio last night giving us donuts as to... Well, they actually were meeting this morning at 6:30
to do what?
Zoom.
To pick it?
Just to finalise.
Surely it's picked.
It's picked, but there's a couple of positions. Maybe interchange bench is one that might be a little bit controversial.
So it's as late as a day before it's announced?
Well, the day of.
So they're meeting today too.
This morning, yeah.
So you reckon someone could change?
No, I think it's more just. It might be just more the interchange. But look, they're meeting this morning. They met this morning for whatever reason to just confirm. I mean, if there was a drama last night with one of the Gold Coast Suns who was touch and go to make it.
Well, Ben King kicked 7 goals, maybe.
Yeah, no, I don't think he'll make it. Personally, Jacko has told me nothing. But
most goals kicked by a Gold Coast Sun ever in a season.
That's a huge effort.
I'll start with the people who are missing, probably the notables. Aaron Norton, 4th in the Coleman, 3rd for inside 50 marks, kicked 60-something goals. He has missed.
Okay.
Not in the squad. Cal Wilkie, number 1 in the competition for marks, top 10 in intercepts. They've got 6 key defenders in. I think he's stiff, but also the other 6, they're all very good, and I think that's the decision they would have made. You can't have 10 key position backmen in the squad. And Tristan Cherry, the unlucky ruckman to miss out, of course. Gawn, Grundy and Jackson are the 3 ruckmen in the squad. Only 2 of them will make it. And if you're picking a team, Skeeter, right?
But how are you picking the team?
You're not picking Grundy and Gawn. Melbourne's already tried to do that.
But what do you pick? Are you picking a team on what the performances
are? Did you ask Jacko that? Because that would be a good question. He could speak to that, couldn't he?
We didn't.
You were with an All-Australian selector.
We were calling the footy last night. So
but you were talking a lot of shit. You were talking about Sweet Caroline. You're talking about the Village people at one stage. Like there wasn't a lot of highbrow conversation happening.
If you were sitting with us last night, you would have been in the same space. And
they were picking on you a bit, weren't they?
That's fine. You know what? I've been picked on Instagram on your forum. You know what? That's why it's the social media. I'm actually proud of you for being able to stick it out on social media because there are a lot of mean-spirited people.
Do you mean like one post goes up about? Mate, there's about 50 posts a day that go up about. If I spent my time deleting comments off Instagram,
no, I've deleted. But I'm saying just people are mean-spirited. That's why I don't stick going there much.
But the thing you got to remember are people who write those are fuckwits. That's all you got to remember. That's basically what I tell myself. If you run into any of these people in the street, they couldn't even mention a word. They couldn't even fumble one word out of their mouth. They'd be that petrified of not getting beaten. I don't fight people. They'd just be mentally petrified of having the vigour that they do online in person. So that's all you have to remind yourself. They're weak. Absolutely weak.
So we were all talking All-Australian, by the way.
Yeah, correct. Let's talk about our West Australian sides. West Coast is a quick convo. None there.
0.
Fremantle. How many of these blokes make it? Andy Brayshaw, Jordan Clark, Luke Jackson, Caleb Sarong. Jordan Clark is a lock.
I'm putting Jordan
personally
Clark as a certainty.
I have him in.
Yes, I've got him in definitely.
And Luke Jackson.
Well, that was the discussion we're about to have.
If you're picking a team, he's
to play because you got him as a forward as
or
well.
even on the bench, and he's a different sort of ruckman. You don't play two big burly rucks.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. On that basis, does Maxie get? Is it a record 8th he's chasing?
So you'd have Gawn over Grundy. Grundy's second half of the season has been
great.
incredible.
No, it's
been
been good.
Half was
you know
not.
what? I'm not going to go to war on either Gawn or Grundy because you know what?
Get off the fence. Pick one. I'll pick Gawn.
I'll pick Gawn, and you know why? Because the All-Australian team is for the individuals than anything else. People are getting all upset about this bloke hasn't made it. This guy. I'm just not. I heard Adam Simpson talk about it this morning, and I've thought that all along. It's nice. It's a great to have in your resume, but at the end of the day, if they played a match.
Right,
it makes a big difference.
It's just putting
it's ceremonial. It's ceremonial, and I do understand the importance of it. But yeah, I certainly don't get too involved with the debate of it. But the Dockers, yeah, look, I think Caleb Sarong would be interesting. Does he make it onto the bench?
It will be tough, mate. I mean, Nick Dacos is in. Let's name the midfielders I think that are in. Nick Dacos,
Jordan
Dawson.
Does the Bont get in?
Well. Does the Bont get in over Sarong? I would have him in over Sarong.
He's obviously missed a bunch of footy.
Yeah. I don't know how much that comes into it. Does Zach Butters feature? Does Hugh McCluggage get a game? I think he does.
He's a gun.
He's a wing. You play him on a wing?
Yeah.
I think he's a lock. So there's 4 mids. Matt Rowell, Noah Anderson.
Yeah.
At least one of them
could both get in.
Both could get in.
Yeah.
That's 6.
Yeah, so you're running out of spaces.
It's going to be tough for Brayshaw and Sarong to get in, but we will see.
But, okay, if you have the choice between Sarong and Brayshaw,
Sarong, I know people talked about he's being tagged, but it's because of his season. Brayshaw's been more consistent, but he hasn't been tagged. So I think Sarong's best games have been better than Brayshaw's, but I think Brayshaw's been more consistent, but I don't think either will get in. But I'd probably take Sarong for his best games this year. There's a few other awards being handed out. Skeeter, the AFL MVP awards, the nominees for Freo, Brayshaw, Sarong, Jackson. West Coast nominees, Jimby, Baker, Harley Reid. So that's picked by the team. So the team picks them. And then basically how it happens is one round of voting goes out and we vote, or West Coast votes on those players. They get voted in, and then you get a second round where you can't vote for your own players and you vote for everyone else. That's how the voting works. Within teams. Are you interested in that at all? Does that make sense?
No, I'm confused by it. But anyway, what about the
round one?
Yeah,
you just have an iPad with just your players on, and you give a 3-2-1.
So when you say who gives that?
The players,
West Coast
collectively.
Players. Every player has a vote.
44 players on West Coast list vote for their top 3 players. Voting over
in round 1.
Yep, voting over. 4 weeks later, you get an iPad with the top 3 of every team other than your own, and you have to give a 3-2-1 across the competition. You're still confused?
I'm confused because round 1, if you've done you've done a voting of your top 3 players in round 1,
yep.
Jimby,
Baker,
Reid.
Yep.
By round 6, if
no, I'm just saying round 1 of voting, not round.
But every round you have to do that.
No. The round 1 of voting for the AFL MVP,
which is done at the end of the season.
It'll be towards it'll be about round 16 or 17.
Okay, now I'm making sense. I thought you were saying round 1 you put down.
The first round of voting
is around that.
Is around round 16, 17.
Cool. I've still got no interest in it. Really. Well, I sort of do. What about the Coaches Awards? Isn't there accusations of Craig McRae trying to get Nick Dacos across I see it on social media. I'm like, okay, whatever.
What about the AFLPA Most Courageous Award?
That's very good.
Zach...
Most Courageous Award. Seriously, what is it? The Peyton Man of the Year in the NFL? What is it?
Well, that's a community award. I like that.
No, I'm just joking.
Zach Butters is going for 3 in a row. I don't know how Zach Butters wins most courageous.
He's the most fine bloke in the history of the game.
Fremantle, Carl Warner is the nominee. West Coast, Liam Baker. I always used to laugh, not because again, those blokes are nominated by their club.
Yeah.
But I always used to laugh Bo Waters is just being nominated every week because he used to just run back into packs like a lunatic. But Bowie would say the same. Doesn't necessarily mean you're courageous.
They're smart crazy as well.
Like Bowie was an idiot. He just knock himself out every second week.
Wow, lots of awards.
Yeah, anyway.
Will you be watching?
I'll tell you there's lots of awards.
Actually, no, you won't, because you'll be with me.
There's what?
You'll be with me tonight, yeah.
When? Is that tonight?
Yeah, radio.
Oh, far out. So if you're listening to this, we're just going to put this
and replay it.
There's no Backman Award, just by the way. There's best captain, best first year, best coaches player, MVP, most courageous, community award. Nothing for the backs. None at all. That doesn't exist.
Can I just drop something in?
The Jack Buckley medal.
The Jack, but can I just drop? I don't know where it's come from, but someone reminded me on either on Instagram. I think my daughter runs my account, so I don't see it. She goes, "Dad, you've got to ask Will." This is from George. He goes, "Apparently there was a message coming through suggesting that even the mascot for the Western Bulldogs, who's now retiring, the Bulldog, forgotten his name, but he got a lap. He got a lap of whatever. He got a lap of honour."
So what's the question, Skater?
The question was a dog.
What's the question?
A dog got a lap of honour for the Western Bulldogs.
That's a statement.
How does that make you feel that a dog after 10 years of service gets a lap of honour, but you don't? That was the question. That was from a punter asking me to ask you, I think.
Yeah, and you're like, yes, I'll
What's a good one? Good, better than me copping the abuse once.
How do you think I feel about that?
Oh, you got to laugh about it. I mean, it's a bulldog getting a lap in a car with his pups.
Couldn't spare me 10 minutes. They've got a fucking bulldog in front. Mate, it's steady ovation. People are crying.
We can do it in the Waffle Grand Final. I've got power on that front. I can get you a lap.
Me, a lap at the Waffle Grand Final.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that.
How funny would that be?
Yeah, we'll do that. I'll get Paywise to give us a car and we're away.
As long as I don't keep the car, I mean, that sounds good to me.
Righto. What else is on tonight?
Gee, that makes me funny. We're going to review every team that missed the final.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
What?
Can I give you a stat on that?
Yeah. Did you come up with it yourself?
Well, no one comes up with their own stats.
Well,
Nor
someone
do you.
does.
Well, where are your stats coming from?
From whatever.
Aspect Accounting.
Yeah.
100.
So thanks to Aspect Accountants.
Yeah,
the numbers.
This is
a good one for
This is a good stat, which I'll tell you where I pinched it from in a second. 117 games between the top 9 sides and the bottom 9 sides this year. 13 times the bottom 9 sides won, which is a very minimal number of matches.
Is that normal? Do you know? How does that stand up
Doesn't
against
sound
other
it.
years?
Doesn't sound it, does it? I mean, and just to show you how abnormal it is, when you've got teams like the Bulldogs with 14 wins and percentage of 140 missing the finals, Fremantle's just getting in. Well, they got in, finished 6th, but winning 15 matches and having to really scramble to get there, it shows you probably not a normal season by previous year's standards.
Aspectaccountants.com.au, that is the numbers. I like that one, Skeeter. Well done. Get in touch with Ben and the team and they will sort you out at tax time. If you're a small business, if you're an operator, a sole trader, whatever you need, they will sort out the books for you. Aspectaccountants.com.au. Let's go in order, Skeeter. Western Bulldogs, 14 wins, 9 losses, a percentage of 137. Thanks to Aspect, it's the highest ever in the history of our game to miss the finals. They beat up on sides below them. 8 70-plus point wins this year the Bulldogs have, but could not beat the top 8 sides. Only beat top 8 side, and it was GWS, and they beat them twice.
And they have their number, don't they? Yeah, and they finished last year in the finals. They got knocked out. And bear in mind, there are 4 teams that finished in the 8 last year that aren't in this year, which is a big number. Port Adelaide, Sydney, Bulldogs, and there's one other that has just escaped my attention. But there are 4 teams from last year.
Who is it?
There is definitely a 4th. Sydney, Port, Bulldogs, and there's one more. Have I got dementia? I don't know. Anyway.
Well, it's either Carlton.
Yeah, Carlton. Carlton played finals last year.
Did they?
They did. They played in elimination, got beaten by Brisbane. That's right. Yeah, so there's 4 clubs. So that's a big change. You talk about the changes. So back to the Bulldogs. Defensively.
Have I got to?
Oh, well, I'm sure I'll couple, yeah.
It's all right, mate. So just say what you think. It's fine.
Yeah, it's funny. No, just ad-libbing our way through here. And
of course, who cares? We're fine, mate. Normal people.
The Bulldogs' defence, that's the one that's going to cop a lot of heat. And the time's running out for Bontempelli, Liberatore's 33, that they can actually get back to the top because they've got a generational player in Sam Darcy. They've got a kid called Jordan Croft, who I think is going to be really good. They've got Norton at the top of his game now.
Well, their top end's elite. Bontempelli, I thought it was surprising they didn't play Treloar. I saw him in the stands. He was not happy. He didn't play that game. Against the Dockers, they got Liberatore. They got Ed Richards as a star. He's become a star this year. Joel Frazier is someone that turned into a very good player. Bailey Dale is an All-Australian backman. He's a very good player. Of course, Sam Darcy's a gun. Their top end, you can't question it. I think they drop away quickly, though, and their back end is what causes them issues, and their back end is in their defence as well. So they're in the market for Silvani and probably looking at another couple of players as key defenders.
But Silvani, with all due respect, I'm not sure he's a lockdown defender.
He needs others around him.
He does.
Well.
I mean, he's sort of... he did a really good job for Carlton for a bunch of matches, but I'm not sure...
He had Wiedering next to him.
I'm saying I'm not sure he's got that support at the Bulldogs. And
they were hoping Liam Jones was going to be that guy, but they dropped and weren't playing him by the end of the year.
Look, I suppose if you're the Bulldogs, recruiting-wise, what you'd like to recruit is a slightly younger version of Jacob Wiedering, if you know what I mean. So, someone of that ilk who can do the job on a key forward, because they just look very vulnerable at the weekend.
Give them a grade, like a school grade.
Well, they finished ninth, didn't they? So I don't want to get completely white. They'll even a C minus.
C minus. That's pretty tough.
Well, I think they dropped out of the 8. They don't get a B.
I'll give them a C plus.
Yeah,
they're pretty close to.
They were close.
They were playing finals until the last game of the year.
Yeah. Well, I think they've got. I think their upside.
They're disappointing. The comment from the teacher would be, "You've got more potential than this."
That's exactly what I got in grade 6 or 7. Yeah. So yeah, C minus is a bit harsh, but I'm going to stick with it because I feel that they deserve or should be playing in the finals with their list.
Sydney finished 10th, 12 wins, 11 losses. Injuries early to Goulden, Mills, Papley hurt them, amongst others. They won 6 of their last 9. Brodie Grundy turned into the Brodie Grundy I think we saw at Collingwood. That was the last time we saw that sort of Brodie Grundy. He dominated the competition in the last half of the year. They need a key forward. We've spoken about this, Charlie Curnow. I mean, do they roll the dice with a Jamari Ugle-Hagan? Are they that desperate?
No, I don't think so. I don't think the culture of Sydney would allow it. Matthew Pavlich is the new CEO. I don't think he'd want that next to his name if it goes pear-shaped. And we haven't seen anything from Jamara to suggest that you can rely on him at this point. But going back to Joel Amardi, Hayden McLean, Logan McDonald, all injured. And the fact that they had so many injuries, I think we saw in the back half of the year, and maybe there was a bit of the premiership decided last year, that would have knocked them around mentally as much as physically, and they had the injuries this year. Finished off well. What we've seen from them in the last 2 months, barring that game against Geelong where they were outclassed, I think I'm going to give them a C because of the injuries they had, and they missed the finals.
They're better season than the Bulldogs.
I think given the injuries,
I give them a C minus.
Yeah, I'm going C because of the injuries they had.
Carlton, 9 wins, 14 losses, all started in round 1, losing to Richmond. I was at that game, one of the all-time boilovers of all time. That was very fun to watch. I had a lot of beers that night, skating, and I loved it. 6 times this year, they led at halftime and lost.
6, yeah, they started matches really well, didn't they?
So they lost after leading at halftime 6 times. Let's say they won half of those. They still would have only won 12 games this year, and they would have missed finals.
Those 6 games outside the top 8.
Yeah, so it's a poor season. Do we have an exodus happening? And we know TDK and Silvani are going. Curnow Mackay, I've heard Walsh's name thrown about. At stages, I heard Patrick Cripps's name thrown about. Do they? The questions I would be asking are they trying to reload for next year? Are they trying to bring players in to go and challenge next year? I think the decision around Michael Voss says they are. I mean, if you wanted to reset and reset the group, you would have sacked him, and they would have brought in a new coach, and they would have wiped out these players. I think keeping him says that Carlton believe they can challenge next year. Do you think they can?
No, I don't think they can challenge, but I think they can. I thought I saw a couple of signs for the younger players that was encouraging. I think Carroll, I like Moya. There's probably 4 or 5 guys there I thought, yeah, there's something to build on there. Jagger Smith's going to be important, albeit hasn't played a game of footy yet, and he's had an ACL, so you can't put too much expectation on him. But they'll go into the market because they need to find some better run in the middle of the ground to support. Now, whether that means they're going to lose Charlie Curnow, Harry Mackay, not so yeah. They'll lose a big name, and Silvani I don't think classifies as a big name. De Koning,
but he's a tall name. If they lose De Koning, Silvani, and Curnow or Mackay, that's your spine.
Yeah, no, it's probably not ideal, but I think Graham Wright's going to go in there, and nothing's off limits. I would have thought.
Do they get a first rounder for Tom De Koning or Silvani? You wouldn't think Silvani.
Not for Silvani,
because the money will be on.
Maybe the money side of it, but look, Tom De Koning's going to be a good player, I suspect. Well, he's output in the second half of the year, maybe because of what was happening, was influential. They played finals. I'm going to give them a D.
Yep, I agree. D, and a straight D as well. We've started low, haven't we? And we're going down the ladder.
What's after F?
St Kilda, 9 wins, 14 losses. We know Nazai Wanganeen Miller has stayed, signed for 2 years, became a star, will be All-Australian. Good challenge for the Brownlow. They came back from 46 points at three-quarter time against
Melbourne.
So that was a highlight for them. And have they become a destination club? Tom De Koning, Nazai has stayed. Liam Ryan looks like he's coming. Sam Flanders has been linked to the club. Maybe adding those players helps them a lot. Now, they need to retain Rowan Marshall, Windhager, and anyone else, Wilkie, or anyone else who's been rumoured to be disappointed with players coming to the football club. I'd be very surprised if players are upset about bringing good players to the football club because they're not good enough at the moment, St Kilda.
Exactly.
So I don't know anything about any of those players, but I can guarantee you as a player when I was there, if we were bringing a good player in, whether it was in my position or not, because that happened as well, it was a good thing for the footy club. And it just means, well, you got to find a way to either play with them or beat them.
Standards are higher.
Yeah, correct.
Hopefully, yeah.
If you've got players at the footy club that are disappointed that they're bringing good players in, I reckon time to move them on quickly.
Last 2 months, I thought St Kilda's form, albeit they're playing, they scraped home against Essendon, against clubs like Richmond. They never really dominated matches, but I thought I saw some signs there. And you mentioned Windhager. Now, he's a player that has interesting future because Liam Ryan going to the Eagles, again, this is all hypothetical, but would you at least ask the question
Well, I have to, yeah.
of the Eagles, from the Eagles?
A player.
Marcus Windhager.
Yeah, that wouldn't be the worst thing.
Although I don't think if you're St Kilda, you're giving up. In fact, I think that's a win for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Getting Windhager.
Getting a player instead of a pick, because I don't know what pick they'd be getting for Liam Ryan. Second rounder would probably be a
and I don't think St Kilda would entertain it. But anyway, that's the discussion. In terms of...
I'll have them at a D+. I've got a better season than Carlton. They won the same amount of games, but I think Carlton were more disappointing than St Kilda.
Yeah, I didn't have St Kilda finishing in the 8, to be honest with you. So I'm giving them just a C.
All right, great. Port Adelaide, 9 wins, 14 losses. Same wins and losses as Carlton and St Kilda. Poorer percentage. Ken handover was a fail, I think. I don't think they gained anything out of this year. So that's how I've graded that. I'd have that as an F, that entire situation. Zach Butters is staying at the club this year, but they've probably got 12 months to convince him that that's the club for him to stay at. Otherwise, he'll be leaving. Mitch Georgiadis, 54 goals in All-Australian squad. He won't make the team, but...
He's a standout player for the season, isn't he?
Yeah, got pretty close. Roseanne Butters and him.
Class, yeah.
So... the question goes, well, what happens under Josh Carr? Do they bounce back? Are they building now? Travis Boak's departed, so, that's a senior leader out the door. I wonder what the year holds for them next year.
Yeah, and look, he's cut some players quickly at the end of the Homewise season, as happens at teams that are out of contention. Willie Rioli has announced his retirement.
Yeah, that was surprising. I reckon he was pretty close to Ken. Hinkley, and I think...
Do you think he was pushed by Josh in that sense, or that he... No?
No, it looks to me, and I haven't spoken to Willie, honestly, I think it's probably as it reads.
Yep.
He's probably cooked.
He didn't look fit this year, did he?
Yeah, and you do have to take into account individual people. I think the way Willie is made up, both physically and mentally, I think AFL footy's a bloody hard game, and he's probably had enough. And if that's the case, well, you'd almost rather him put his hand up. If that's how he's feeling, Would you rather him go on another year and then, the talk starts again?
Yep.
Port Adelaide are probably happier with that than him playing on and not giving his all.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and we've seen he's had some. Look, we know he's had a checkered career in the sense of some high moments and some low moments. For Port Adelaide, I don't see them challenging next year. In fact, I think even though they may not publicly say it, I think they have to go through a little rebuild here. I think the season after what they produced last year has to be. I'm going a D-.
Yeah, I'd be similar areas. D- for Port Adelaide. Melbourne, 7 wins, 16 losses. Simon Goodwin was sacked. Cozzy Pickett signed a monster deal. Petrarca, Oliver, May, Lever, all linked to trades in their own different ways. Petrarca around his incident. Oliver wanted out last year. Stephen May seems to be some sort of internal breakdown there, and Jake Lever was dropped during the year. So how many of those 4 do you think will still be there next year? Because the Melbourne Demons 7-win season sacking the coach, that's an F for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, whether someone like a Stephen May or a Jake Lever would be targeted by the Bulldogs, for instance.
That's the one. Stephen May to the Bulldogs.
Yeah, but I've got to be honest with Stephen May, whether he brings a good culture to the club, the history says not necessarily. So, and whether he's got the fuel in the tank, the desire to go again remains to be seen. And maybe a change of club will, certainly from a Bulldogs perspective, he's one player that they could look at, and it's going to be fascinating to see. Because I'm not sure that Petrarca, Oliver, both of them will be at the club next year. One may well be gone, and depends who the new coach is. If it's Nathan Buckley, he comes in and he can quickly restore faith, and that's going to be the key for them.
Wonder how quickly they're going to pull the trigger on that. I read a report on socials this week that a lot of assistants are not committing to putting their hand up to say they're going for that job because they think it's Buckley's.
Buckley's to say no to, basically.
So if you're an assistant coach and you want to make yourself ready for a senior coaching role, some would go, well, I don't want to go for it if it's not even available.
And you don't want to be putting your hand up if you're an assistant coach for every job that goes. I can understand the reluctance, because you go, well, I'm going to put up for maybe 1 or 2 that I think that I'm a chance for, because you don't want to be seen as every time there's a job, you're putting your hand up and you're getting knocked back, and that doesn't end up looking good on your resume.
Daniel Pratt would be a name that I would put into the mix that I haven't seen put too many places. He was 10 years at West Coast, my premiership backline coach. He's been at the Bulldogs this year in terms of his coaching prowess now, and I know he wants to be a senior coach. So I'd be surprised if he hasn't interviewed for that job, and if he hasn't, they will now, given their season is done officially today or yesterday. But he would be someone that I'd back to be a good senior head coach. Essendon, 6 wins.
What do we give? We're giving Melbourne
F. F.
Where do they finish?
It doesn't matter. They sacked their coach and won 7 games.
I'll give it D- because we've still got some territory to cover.
Right at F. I can tell you, I was got an F. Essendon, 6 wins, 17 losses, finishing 15th. Unprecedented injury list. They played every game, every player on their list, I believe.
Yeah,
I think
bar one. I think was it bar one?
Jeez, it'd be flat. It'd be flat. 15 debutants, most ever, not including expansion sides. And that beat some of West Coast years over the last couple as well. Sam Draper looks like he's leaving. Disappointing for him. He's been injured for most of the year. High-end draft talent in Elijah Sardis. Ben Hobbs haven't really delivered and on the outer and have been injured as well. Like they're higher draft picks. They haven't quite got that side of things right. But I will say, to the back end of this year, I've seen some players that are young that have got capability. Like Caddy has clearly...
Durham's a player.
Durham can play, which they got in the mid-season. I like Clark, who played on the wing.
Yes, he was good.
Even Newen, as a lockdown defender, he was keeping the best players in the game to not much. Like that's what playing a season like this does. You very quickly filter out who can and can't play. Like if you're giving games to people that don't deserve it,
which I have.
Yeah, they don't. They either stand up or they don't, right? And you can figure it out a lot quicker than someone who's playing in the VFL for a year and you're like, oh, gee, I don't know if he can make it. We've seen it. They either can or they can't, and they'll make calls quicker because of it. So that's, I guess, the positive side of this whole thing. Yeah,
I'm just trying to think of, outside of Zach Merritt, who has just been enormous for the club, Dylan Shield obviously is winding up. He's either been told or he's on his way. They just need to get their strength and conditioning and their fitness side sorted. It's the most obvious thing. And at least get a look at what they have to offer. And I know they're in the marketplace, but will they be able to attract anyone there at the moment? I'm not sure that, I'm not sure that the Bombers.
They're going to need a ruckman, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like no Goldstein and Draper out the door.
Yeah, we've got to give quick pat on the back to Goldie, who was subbed out last night for the first time in his career with concussion, and it's his last game. But
I don't think he was thinking whether he was going to be playing this year.
No, not at all. 36, 37 or whatever he is. Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. So you're right. The Draper situation lingers. They've got a lot of holes to fill. I mean, they've just got to get their health right. So on that basis, I'm not going to give them an F. I'm going to give them a D- because of their injuries. I'm trying to be,
Yeah, I'll give him a D because of injuries. I'll even give him a D because I'm worried about the last three. North Melbourne, 5 wins, 17 losses, 1 draw. That draw, far out, boys. You couldn't get one more point. Couldn't get one more point, boys. Couldn't get one more win.
Against Brisbane, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Couldn't get it done, boys. Butchered it. First time North have won more than 4 games since 2019.
There you go.
So, do you look at this season as a positive one? They don't have their first round draft pick this year. They gave it away for peanuts, I believe, last year.
Really?
I'm almost positive. I don't know if we can look that up, but I'm almost certain they got absolutely sweet FA back for that.
Okay.
So that's gone. That's pick 3.
Yes.
Trading pick 25 for Caleb Daniel doesn't look like a great move a year on. I don't think he had the year that he's had at Bulldogs. He was okay. Harry Sheasel's a gun. Wardlaw, we know what he can do, but he hasn't probably had the injury year he would have loved. And Colby McKercher is a good player. They've got serious talent in their midfield. Nick Larkey's a gun. They added Parker. I think the Parker trade was a good one. He's one of their best players this year. And Jack Darling kicked 25 goals. I mean, that's a win.
Yeah.
But these aren't players that are going to be the future.
They're not next 2 or 3 years, are they? So, yeah, they're the one club next year outside the 8, or one of the clubs that are certainly going to be under massive pressure to find something, because it's just been. We
said it last year.
I know, we keep saying it. No, I agree. It's when do you either change your direction or they're just a club that's, again, you talk about irrelevance. They haven't been relevant for a while.
Well, they thought the Clarkson move was going to do that. I reckon I'm with you. He's got next year. If they put out another year like this, he could be done and they'll have to start again.
Well, start again coaching-wise. I still think they've got the raw talent there to be better than
what
they
is
are.
it then?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't have the answer.
Season? What do you grade them?
They won 5.5. I'm going D-. You can't go C's.
Well, no, it's certainly not a C. I'm thinking about an F. It's just crap. D-. Just. Just. Richmond, 5 wins, 18 losses. 5 wins was 5 wins more than most people predicted this year.
Exactly.
Young kids improved and show promise. Lawler.
Injured, but
we didn't see much from him, to be honest. Like Jonty Fall, Taj Houghton,
Smiley, the young kid, didn't get on the track.
There's a bunch of young players that I think looked good this year, and their game plan stood up in some bigger games. Vlaston's a gun. Taranto, Nankervis is a good player.
We saw them, we saw them against the Eagles, and when they've got their experienced players there, like if the Eagles have their experienced players there, Richmond it's a good way to transition these young players into more footy with some experienced heads around them. So when Prestia was there, and Nankervis, Taranto, Hopper,
Tom Lynch, remember that big suspension he got?
Yeah. So and down back, of course, Floston's just been enormous, and Broad's a goer. So yeah, look, I personally, I'm giving them a C.
Yeah, so am I.
I'm giving them a C.
C minus. Calm down.
For the season that we were expecting, I'm happy with C, because they've come from ground zero. They've won 5 games. They win 5 games.
I think we gave fucking Sydney a C or something. They won 12 games.
No, but there's a background, the injuries. I'm talking how the season panned out, and I think their competitiveness, they fell away, obviously, but no, I think I'm happy with 5 wins. I reckon that's more than what a lot of Tigers fans thought.
And in last place, West Coast, 1 win, 21 losses. Most losses ever in a season of anyone ever. They're one of 5 teams in the last 50 years to produce a 1-win season. One of those clubs was disbanded in Fitzroy. One of them was an expansion club in GWS, and a couple of other sides that joined them. It's an F. I'll start with that. It's absolutely a fail. Tom McCarthy was a great mid-season pickup. Could be the best of all time mid-season draftee. John Newcomb's pretty good. Ruben Jinby, as a proper key back. I think he'll benefit from having Harry Edwards there all of the time, or I know Rhett Bazzo developing as a key back.
I just hope Ruben, the way he plays the game, I just hope that he doesn't end up old before his time, if you know what I mean. With
Have
his
we
body.
had an update on his knee?
Yeah, you know what? Because we haven't, I suspect it was worse than whatever. He came back on the ground. Now, I don't know, haven't got any idea, but the club hasn't released anything, which begs the question, are they concerned about...
I hope not. Well, why wouldn't you release it? It's Thursday.
No, but my point being is he came back on the ground. And will that, if he did have an injury of note, coming back on the ground probably wasn't the right thing to do.
It'd be surprising.
But anyway, we don't
skipper
know.
Oscar Allen's out the door. All-Australian forward Liam Ryan's out the door. They might get Elliot Yeo back. They will add picks 1 and 2 at minimum. They will have Hawthorn's first-round pick. They may get a concessional pick for being shit. They may get someone...
Brandon Starcevic looms as a possible...
Sure.
He's got a couple of concussion issues himself, but he's a player from Brisbane.
He's a good player, role player.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Not going to move the needle in terms of winning a game for you, but he certainly shores up an age group and someone who knows how to play in big games and play well.
Yeah, exactly. Him, Archie from Brisbane, someone you'd look at. Again, I've said Logan McDonald, just asked the question, given that there's no Oscar Allen and what you'd have to do. He's had a lot of injuries this year, Logan. Yeah, they've just got to get it right. And
what do you give him?
Oh, clearly an F. I mean, that's a given. But, they do lose Jared Schofield from a coaching perspective. He's been pushed out, which...
they just added a coach from Melbourne that I've never heard of.
Yeah, obviously McQualter did work with him. Yep. But, yeah, I feel a bit sorry for Jared. 12 months ago, bear in mind, he was interim coach. He was taking the bullets to get them to the end of the season. And then 12 months later, he finds himself out of a job. So that's
what the game is. I don't feel sorry. That's
oh no, I do. I definitely feel sorry. Someone's lost their career, and I do.
They haven't lost their career. He's just lost his job. He can get a job out somewhere else, can't he?
Well,
he can't be an assistant coach anywhere else.
No. Well, it's not that simple. I think his family situation is a little bit different. But yeah, I feel sorry for anyone that loses their job, be they players or
you or me.
Or you or me, yes. Which I've had.
Yeah, but it's all right. We're going
all right.
okay. We're just talking shit in the microphone still. Every day I wake up, do I still have a job? Let's get into questions and comments.
Righto.
Like I said, you never bloody bet. I've never seen anyone bounce back better than you. The firing of Mark Reid is like a rebirth. It's like a phoenix out of the ashes, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you're the man now. Like Basil's bloody leader of the opposition, and Mark Reid is leader of the media here in WA.
No, I'm just.
What's the award they give out for the best WA media guy? What is it?
Oh.
You know what it is?
No, I don't know.
The one that Ryan Daniels wins all the time.
Yeah.
He puts his own entries in, Ryan.
Does he?
Oh, of course he does. Isn't he on the committee? Isn't Ryan on the committee and he puts his own entries in? Yeah. Shout out, Ryan, if you're listening.
Is it?
What is
do you have to work
Grulsich or something?
No, it's Jeff Christian medal, is that right?
Jeff Christian,
yeah. I've never...
I reckon you could be up for that this year.
Well, if you're doing 17 jobs...
I might submit you for the show podcast.
That'd be nice.
G'day, boys. Regarding Oscar's move to Brizzy, I think it's a case of both the club and the player getting what they want. The club doesn't see Oscar's body holding up as a primary player in the team, and Oscar wants to move to a contender. West Coast gets the picks to boost a much-needed rebuild, and Oscar goes to a finals team for a greater chance of success. Good for both of them. Procs on YouTube. Couldn't have said it any better. Skeeter, let's move on to Lua on YouTube. Yeah, Will, I agree with pretty much all of your opinions. Thanks, Lua. And I truly love this podcast and all of your others. Why do I feel like there's a but coming? But I cannot agree with you on the Oscar Allen issue. Are you of the opinion, or do you have knowledge that both Barris and Allen would have preferred to stay in a losing, rebuilding team rather than seek opportunities to join contending teams? You seem to be blaming West Coast for not valuing its players and leaders in these two cases. And don't get me wrong, I love Tom and Oscar as players, but perhaps they preferred an opportunity for success. And also, if it has taken Baker and Graham to drive standards, what exactly were those existing leaders doing in that capacity? It's a very good point, Lou.
Very good, well-crafted question, which has a little clip for you on the way through, which I like as well.
There's a lot of questions in it. Do I think Tom Barris and Oscar Allen wanted to play for sides that were winning? Yes.
That's human nature.
Whose fault's that? Question back to you, Lou. Is that their fault? Or is it the club's fault? I think it's both, to answer my own question. So, a good way to keep players is to win games of footy. And West Coast haven't been able to do that. Now, players driving standards, yes. So on Liam Baker and Graham driving standards, yeah, I agree. I think that's on the playing group, and that's Tom and Oscar involved. But I've seen what Tom and Oscar do behind the scenes, and I know them as individuals. I don't think those are the players that you need to be putting in the gun for standards and driving standards. There's probably others, and then it's on the young blokes to buy into it too. So you could be right, Lou. I'm not going to fight tooth and nail on this one, but I do think the club has to put their hand up and say that they haven't created an environment to win games of football, and that's why you lose players. It's why Carlton have got players walking out the door. They're not winning games. If Carlton were winning, they'd be staying, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
If West Coast are winning, those yes, I can get. Yeah, I don't know if I have inside knowledge. Yes, I have inside knowledge. 2 West Australians playing for West Coast, the teams they grew up loving. If that's winning, they're staying. Yes, I do have inside knowledge. Yes, they would be. Yeah, absolutely.
And look, the issues at West Coast it's a broad ranging, goes from players to administrators. The club itself, everyone's in on what's happened and what's hopefully going to happen in a positive sense moving forward.
Ben, via email, is it a certainty the West Coast will get pick 2 compensation for Oscar leaving in the new world of $1.5 to $2 million contracts? Would Oscar's contract be enough to trigger the pick 2? Brisbane have a lot of stars on big money, and what would be left offering Allen $700 to $800 a year these days would be more of an end around first round compo. I believe there's a number. 750, it could be 800, and I think that Brisbane and West Coast will make sure they get to that number.
So they can get that pick off.
Correct.
Yeah, because otherwise, and obviously there's that possibility, unlikely, but, West Coast could match whatever. But yeah, that seems like pick 2 feels like where it's going to land. Both parties can move on.
And the last one via email. If you do want to shoot us an email, you can do that. FootyCast at backchatstudios.com.au. Lads, the pod is flying. Love it. Dr. Handsome here, a.k.a. Mark, your resident footy genius. I thought he was going to say a.k.a. Mark Reddick. So Goody's been given the boot, and straight away everyone's banging on about Buckley and the usual experienced coach merry-go-round. But let's be real, apart from Malthouse at the Pies and Matthews at Brizzy, recycled coaches have been absolute spuds. AFL moves quicker than umpire running into the score review, way faster than NRL rugby. Surely clubs have twigged on that by now that assistants with fresh ideas are the way to go. Keen to hear your call on the next coach in waiting. My Smoky, Scott Selwood. Yep, you heard it here first, lads. Bookmark it. Keep up the great yarns. Much love, the doc. Mark via email.
Yeah, I don't mind that theory, and I think he's right. Recycled coaches, because there's the safety, the percentage players, we know what they do, we understand where they come from. I think, obviously, the fear of the unknown, taking a McQualter, for instance, taking an Adam Uze or Craig McRae, Chris Fagan. I just think you're right. If you can source a really promising assistant coach or someone who's been, it doesn't have to be young. I mean, we've seen Chris Fagan at his age. Danny Daly's been mentioned from a Brisbane perspective. And
yes.
So, yeah, I don't disagree with him. And I'm not saying that Buckley can't and won't get the job and shouldn't get the job, but I think assistant coaches or blokes that are right to go, whether it's Ash Hansen or whether it's Jamie Graham, guys like that, I don't think you should overlook them just on the basis that they haven't driven or flown the plane themselves before.
A big thanks to our partners this week, Aspect Accountants, bringing us the numbers as well as looking after you from a financial point of view. If you need an accountant, go and see Ben and the team at Aspect Accountants, aspectaccountants.com.au, and Homewise Solar, the guarantees of the week. I've said Charlie's out the door. You have.
My guarantee is that there's no footy this weekend. and we should have a grand final, pre-grand final bye, not a bye now. I stand by that. I know it sounds very Super Bowl-ish, but why not have your best 2 teams fresh for the biggest game of the year? Anyway, we're stuck with it.
Okay, thank you, Skeet. Battery subsidies have now landed, Skeeter. So there's federal and WA rebates now available. So you can not only go and see Steve and the team, homewisesolar.com.
I get a rebate.
You get some money back.
Good,
right?
good.
Save like 50%.
Sounds like...
Sounds like you need it, given the amount of... All right, if you're looking at the green and the red in your accounts and your budget with Ben and the team at Aspect, you're in the red.
Am I? Okay.
You're well and truly in the red.
Okay.
Well, aren't you?
Well, I don't know.
How much money are you earning?
No, Victoria.
Are you in the green?
No, Victoria just... I don't know. And before, like I said, I've been paid this week. She goes, yeah, it's already taken out into another account. So I'm literally just a provider of...
At what stage does the money go from the account into your top
sock
drawer?
If I can get $50, if I get $50 here and there, just to
I like it. I bet there'll be a lot of blokes out there.
Yeah, trust me, Melbourne Cup time. Every just funnel. So I've got a few $100 to take over to Melbourne.
Yep.
and then I lose on day one of the carnival, and away we go.
Yeah, correct. Giddy up. All right, thanks very much. See you next week.